Hi guys and gals, and welcome back to another Broken No Game video. Today's video is dedicated to the Invader event, the daily polls, restricted events, and of course the Gran Colo results. So let's jump right into it. So if you go into story, within story, go into events, and the first thing that we're going to cover is Invaders from Space, and specifically the metal exchange. So if you plan on not really maxing out this event, the things that I recommend really is getting the purification tickets will be located in the bottom so you can farm some more. Pretty much getting the skill gems, farm all of those out, get the twilight crystals that'll be down here, get the dragon shackles and the bird masks. After that, pretty much like if you're not going to participate in the event too much, I pretty much think that's about it. Don't even bother with nightmares except for I believe the UFO, because the UFO is a little bit special since it has like the fire effect, which is similar to the Shadow Lord effect. So I recommend picking him up just because he's super different. But overall, those are like the only things that I recommend if you're going to do like a minimum like metal exchange. But if you plan on farming this event, which I highly recommend because it provides amazing rewards, then I recommend getting the weapon first so you can MLB it, because the weapon provides modifiers so you can farm more of this event. And let's talk about why you want to farm this event. So let's go into the event. Let's go to menu, notice, and then within notice we're gonna go to the Invaders event. Now the thing is this is a GVG or guild metal ranking event. So what happens is depending on your rank, you will get an invader gun with other extra rewards. And also note that the metal exchange shop will renew on September 24th. So it's super important that I believe that you farm this event immensely. Don't do minimum rewards, as farming this event is relatively easy compared to other events, because most of the bosses are weak to water weapons. So since their weakness is to water weapons, it's pretty easy, as most vanguards have an abundant amount of water weapons. And also the conquest bosses aren't too hard. So these are like some of the guild ranking rewards that you can get. Let's talk about the actual event guide. So of course, Kaguya and Three Little Pigs are the rate up characters. I highly recommend using them. If you do plan on farming this event quite a bit, I recommend picking up the weapons, like do at least one rotation on the step up banner so you can at least get one weapon, because essentially it provides 1.3 and 1.4 if you get a dupe, so on and so forth, weapon calculation effects and all that. Just note that this event may appear again at a later date, so it doesn't really hurt to get these weapons and use them, and then once this comes back, when they drop like Aladdin and I believe Sleeping Beauty, then you can use these weapons to farm the updated version of Space Invaders. So I highly recommend doing that. I don't think you can like jump guilds so you can get like a higher like guild rank, because that's going to be something else that's going to be very important. So let's go back and talk about the actual event itself. So if you go story, in events, back into here, invaders, and then we're going to do event explanation. So this is broken down into, standard things. Well, let's go to rankings first. So essentially you're ranked amongst all the guilds, and the top guild will get, the most amount of rewards, and if you go to rewards for guild rewards specifically, number 1 gets like 900 crystals, 5 invader guns, which is the biggest flex, and of course you get a little title and some skill gems. Skill gems are really valuable. Top 100 to get the 5 invader guns, pretty much that's a flex. You don't really need the title. Max limit breaking the actual invader gun is probably the highest flex in my opinion for most players. But for the most part, like, this ranking event is just a flex to like newer players to be like, hey, I participated in one of the most grindiest events in the entire game. And then as far as medals earned, guild rank, so after 1,000,000 as a guild you get the 50 twilight crystals, and obviously you can see like some guilds at the top have already gotten it. And then we have individual rewards. Individual rewards go up to 100,000, but I believe most of you guys will be surpassing that for the most part. Enjoy those 30 twilight crystals and all the rewards that we get from this. And we already talked about how to play. You pretty much farm this event, do EX3. I highly suggest watching out for the octopi dude in the beginning. He's probably like the hardest thing to fight, and the entire stage. Bring lots of water weapons. Don't bring any green weapons if you can for this flight, unless you're using it for stat purposes, because pretty much green weapons for these events are null and void. And of course, you know, you have to beat like the first mode in order to unlock hard mode. And just to note, this story is actually really funny, a little bit trolly if you actually read it. I quite enjoyed the Space Invaders event. If we go back into menu, go back into notice, let's go ahead and talk about the actual conquest itself. So this conquest is a global event, so that means Asia and global are participating in it together. We deal a certain amount of damage and we'll get rewards as, you know, follows. I'm not sure how the reward breakdown is, but I'm pretty sure it's like located somewhere here. Alright, cool. Yeah, this is like, if we deal this much damage, then, you know, we get certain things. So we've already cleared like the first pretty much like junction of like we did 20 billion or 34 billion damage. So hopefully we reach 250 billion damage. This event has been out for like what, like 2 or 3 days, and we've already hit 34 billion. I'm pretty sure we can hit the 250 million, fam. Like, or billion, my bad, billion. So we can definitely do that easy. And like I said, the biggest thing to watch out for is this octopi, because, you know, he has physical defense times like pretty much 4-star. And I would say the UFO himself isn't that crazy. You know, just slam water weapons against these guys and they'll pretty much break. And if you want to, like, you know, kill them faster, they have tips and stuff on pretty much how to kill these bosses quite quickly. This event, or this conquest overall, like, I just like it a lot because it's way more doable than the Ogre event that we just had. Let's talk about Daily Grimoire. Daily Grimoire is like a cool thing. Just to note that essentially this feature is just like you pull like one every single day. It resets at 2200 for me. If you get an SR, it does not reset the 30 pull things. So just note that if somehow you get like 5 like SR pulls while you're pulling for like the 30, right? So if you go into Grimoire and then, you know, you do your daily pull, it doesn't really reset if you get an SR is what I'm trying to say. Let's code this up. Sorry to use mine up for the day. I haven't gotten an SR yet, but if you so happen to pull an SR, you know, you get to keep it and it doesn't reset the guaranteed timer. And let's go back into menu, notice, and then into the events, and let's talk about the last portion, the restricted events. So essentially this is a free like Guerilla. Your guild, only your guild members can participate. So let's say if you're an EU guild and you want to do Guerilla on an off time, now you can. So it's super awesome they added this feature. If you're an EU only guild, or let's say you're in Asia and like just the Guerilla times don't work for you, or you're in USA and the times don't work for you, now you can essentially coordinate a time with your guildies, be like, hey, we're gonna farm Guerilla from X time to X time, and you can get pretty much all the things you need to participate in events and get your weapon EXP and armor EXP, because that is super important to progress in the game. We've pretty much covered everything, and let's cover the hottest news of the week, which is Gran Colo. Congrats to everyone who participated. If you're wondering, we got overall rank 49. We barely squeaked by into, you know, the top 50, just barely. You know, congrats to everyone who participated. You know, I see you, I see everyone. You know, top 10, Eden TG, Gengar Sleepy Dream, Codex Goats, Indecisive, the boys at Sin, Flame Rev. Anyways, I'm super happy. You know, we all got to participate in this. Gran Colo is always a good time. If you're wondering, we are recruiting for a magical DPS, so feel free to join the Discord if you want to join the Guild of Wu. So one thing I wanted to cover on the left is I tweeted about this. There's actually like some sort of like Gurren Lagann looking like SR Nightmare. I'm pretty sure you guys have been staring at it, and he's really cool. You know, it's not an actual collab, it's like a event with a match girl that just released. So if you've been staring at him, it's not an actual collab. I know I tweeted like Gurren Lagann. He just looks like Gurren Lagann because of the shades. It's literally just the shades. But overall, that's like a cool little thing that they so happen to do. You know, just adding shades to like a mecha makes it like Gurren Lagann. There's another anime that Breezy talked to me about. I already forget the name, but you know, shout out to the folks at Indecisive. So that's pretty much it for this video. You know, Grand Coliseum, huge roller coaster. Every single Grand Coliseum, it seems like you lose members, and I totally understand. The game is very taxing. Best of wishes to everyone, you know, who chooses to move on and whatnot, but For the most part, I really cannot drop Sinnoh because this game has such camaraderie, such like a huge like community, and they're so loving at the same time because we can help each other so much in Sinnoh. It's unlike any other gacha I've played before where most gachas are like pretty single player. But that's pretty much it, you know? We have like this huge conquest going, trying to do 250 billion damage, absolutely insane. GVG co-op event where we're competing for the top ranks. Who's gonna get it? I think number 1 right now is... Who's number 1? The event explanation, and let's go to rankings and top rankings. Number 1, Indecisive. Goats, Secret Gordon, Altair, and Eden. EG, I can't say that. Yomi, Reverie, and Armada. You know, congrats to y'all in top 10. The event's been out for a couple of days, but we'll see what happens. Anyways, that's it for this video. Like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Twitch, follow me on Twitter. I will see you in the next one.